Hello everyone! In this episode of my JavaScript tutorial I'm going to show you how to accept user input with a window prompt and an HTML input box. So let's get going. So there's basically two ways of accepting user input in JavaScript. The first one is going to be window.prompt. We'll say enter your age. I'm gonna also create a variable let age, but I'm not yet gonna assign it. I'm gonna assign it right over here. So age is going to be whatever value the user inputs. Alright, then I'm going to take this example paragraph from the HTML file. So document.getElementById example, and I'm gonna make const example equals, and then I'm gonna change the example.text content to a template literal. So you are placeholder age years old. So enter your age. I'm gonna say I'm 30. Okay, you are 30 years old. So this is one way of accepting user input. Then we got another way. So I'm gonna create an input box. Input type is gonna be a number. ID is going to be user input, and then the placeholder will be enter your age. Alright, so there we go. I'm gonna also add a label, enter, or actually age. There we go. So now I'm gonna take the ID of user input. So document.getElementById. Also, I'm gonna make this a constant. User input equals document. We are getting the element by ID, user input. And then I'm gonna take the example paragraph like this. So the ID of the example paragraph is example. Then we declare the age variable. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take the user input, or let's say user age, or age equals the user input, and we are taking the value out of the text box or the number box or the input box, and then we are going to show it on the page. Example.text content equals a template literal. You are placeholder age years old. Okay. Also, let's actually create an alert. Alert. And then I'm gonna cut this inside of this. There we go. So we are also going to need a button, by the way. So button type submit ID submit btn and submit. Where's my button? There we go. Alright. Oh. Then I'm gonna go and get the const button equals document get element by ID, and the ID is going to be submit button. There we go. And yeah, I am going to create an event listener. So button dot add event listener. We are going to listen for a click, and after that we are going to execute a function like users h. This is a little advanced, but it's okay. Alright, let's create a function users h, and then we are going to take the user input, actually the h, and make it equal to the user input dot value, and then this time I can use the example dot text content equals you are h years old. So yeah, enter your age. 25, submit. What are we missing? Let's copy this line of code beneath this one. Alright, and let's try it out. So I am going to write an age, 25, submit, you are 25 years old. Alright, what if I don't submit anything? You are years old. What if I submit... well, I can't write any characters because this is a number box. But what if I say I'm that old? It's gonna say this. But we can add an if statement. So, before we are going to show the age, I'm gonna write an if statement. If age is equal to an empty string, or if age is not a number. Or actually it's always going to be a number because that's a number box. But if age is an empty string, we will do example.text content equals alert. Actually, no, template literal. You must input your age. And then we'll run the function again. Users age. There we go. So let's try it out. What if I don't enter a age? You must input your age. Alright, let's say I'm 25. You are 25. Once again, if I don't enter anything, it says you must input your age. Let's say I'm 30. You are 30 years old. 35. 35 years old. So yeah. This is the professional way of accepting user input with JavaScript. So first, we take the user input box, which is basically going to be this box right over here. Then we take the example paragraph, which is this one. Then we take the button, which is this button right over here. After that, we declare a variable age. And then we take the button, add an event listener, and when we click the button, we are going to do the function users age. And here is the function. Inside of the function users age, we will assign age to be the user input, and we will take the value out of this input box. Then we do an if statement. If age is equal to an empty string, also known as if we didn't type in anything, we will say you must input your age, and we'll start this function all over again from the top to the bottom. So it will keep saying you must input your age until we do. When I do input an age, when this value is false, we will do this line of code. So we will take the paragraph example, access the text content, and make it into a template literal. Then I'm gonna be inserting the variable age with a placeholder inside of there. So yeah, that's how to accept user input in JavaScript. This was a little bit advanced, but don't worry, we are gonna have a lot of practice with this in the future. Alright, I hope you were able to learn something new in this episode, and I hope I'm gonna see you in the next one. And yeah, happy learning everyone, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.